we're always sending a message to our children, and most of the time it's the message that we're sending with our actions that count, not the things that we say out of our mouth. Today's video is sustainable energy. I thought that would be a catchy title just to explain what is it in my life that I can actually sustain in this season in order to give the best of myself and to be the best of myself. What is it that I can sustain? The first thing is being your authentic self. There is a temptation to be fake when we are in different seasons of life or scenarios. As a person of faith, I have done this myself and seen it in others where we feel like we need to put our best spiritual foot forward. For example, maybe you act like you eat a certain way or dress a certain way, but when you're not around certain people, you are doing the opposite. It's absolutely exhausting when you are pretending. After a while, people will see the cracks. And something that got me thinking about this as well is I've been reading this book. It's a really, really good book. It's called Stormy, right, by Stormy Amartyan. And she has, I had seen a book of hers years ago called The Power of a Praying Parent. I can't remember if I'd read it, but I just knew of her because her books are well known in Christendom, right? And in this one, it's a biography of her life. And she talks about how her mum was abusive and how she found compassion for her mum. And the fact that it must have been really exhausting for her mum sometimes when family would come around and she had to just pretend like everything was normal. And then she'd go back to the same, like the same abusive behaviors, because her mum actually had gone through some trauma, which kind of sent her down a pathway to have mental instability and mental issues, right? Now, in this case, I'm not saying, she should have been her authentic self, which is being abusive or whatever. That's not why I'm drawing out that example. But I'm drawing that example out to show you like an extreme situation, but also to say, who is it that gets the worst of your behavior? And what message do you send to your children, right? When they clearly see that you are one way here and you are one way there. What is it that you're teaching your children subconsciously? Because we always have to remember, like we're always sending a message to our children. And most of the time, it's the message that we're sending with our actions that count, not the things that we say out of our mouth. So when you are your authentic self, you're actually being more helpful to you because you can feel happier and more whole and more confident as a person. But also your children can build trust in you and feel safe with you because it's like, I know that you are being who you are. Like whether you're on the camera or you're on the street or you're at home, this is who my mother is. So being your authentic self is so important. And I've made a point here. I think that what can actually happen too is that you actually forget who you are or what you like because you've been pretending for so long. So I think it's important to say, Lord, help me to care about your opinion the most, refine me and show me how to be the person who you created me to be. I was having this conversation with some friends the other day, right? And I was just basically saying, you see me, when you look at it in life, we're getting older every day. And I don't want to be 40 years old, 50 years old, 60, 70, by God's grace, if I live that long, still worrying, what do people think of me? Oh, I'm going to be around this person. So I better act like that. It's long. It's long and it's not sustainable at all, not for you or for your family. So if you want to start being your best self, I'm telling you today, I empower you. Go to God, form that strong relationship with him and let him shine through you. Be yourself, be your authentic self, because there's only one you. And that's something that gives me the confidence to do this channel, that if somebody who saw the channel was to meet me in person, they'd be able to recognize, oh, okay, that's Sharla. If anything, I slightly hold back. Not so much information. Obviously, information wise, I have to be wise with what I share. But in terms of maybe certain jokes that I would run or how I'd move around and stuff like that. Because a lot of the time I'm coming with, okay, 3 tips on this, 3 tips on that. I'm in the zone and you'll see parts of my character come out more on the camera. But, you know, as I said, I just want to be me. I just want to be free being me and not feel like, oh, when I'm around this person, I feel like I'm being judged, or, oh, I need to act like it's so long. So be yourself. All right. And another point on that, when you are yourself, whoever's going to love you for you will love you for you, and whoever doesn't like you for you won't like you. And it feels so much better when you know that the people in your life actually love you for who you are, like your children. All right, number 2, your working habits. Something that I've been trying to do better in is think, what is a priority? What can wait until tomorrow? Telling myself it will get done. All right, telling myself that it will get done. I was watching a video on YouTube Tips recently, and she made a good point about the fact that having better equipment doesn't necessarily make you a better content creator. All right. So you may have the skills to create the content you desire with... Oh, sorry, listen, I'm messing up my notes. Anyway, listen. So basically, I was watching a video and she was talking about the fact that, you know, as a content creator, people may feel like, oh, I need the Nikon or the camera, this and that. And you can have all of these things, but in essence, that's not really what matters, because I'm like, I can say, okay, right, I want this extra thing in here and that extra piece of equipment in there. But I'm sorry, if every single time I had to come and do a video, I had to be like, oh, let me put this up. All right, let me just get the wire. Oh, let me just wrap this wire up. And if I had to do all of that every time I just had to stand in front of the camera and talk, I would just be like, I'm not even bothering to do this, because I have to think with my channel. I have visions and dreams for it and all of that, but I have to say, what can I sustain right now? And for me, I like the fact that I can just turn on my laptop, turn on the little ring light and camera and just get on with it, because I don't have time to be, oh, let's set up the studio. You know what I mean? You just got to be in and out. So think about your working habits and what is it that you can sustain right now. Number 3, not having boundaries. This is not sustainable because you will end up running on empty and get sick. Just remember this: when you say yes to something, you say no to something else. When you say no to something, you say yes to something else. So think of who or what you are saying yes to, who or what you are saying no to. Think about the reason why you're saying yes. Think about the reason you're saying no. Because let me tell you something in life. You see what I'm saying about, boundaries? Something that I've come to learn is, sometimes you're there feeling bad, like, oh, if I say no, how will I look? I don't want to say no. But when people are requiring certain things of you, are they feeling sorry for you? Are they thinking about your time? No. Everybody's thinking about, what do I need to do for me? What's on my agenda for today? So that's something you need to put into perspective. It's not about being tit for tat. You should definitely help people if you can. But just remember, by the time you're there feeling bad, a lot of people who end up using you, not so much because they want to, but because by default, you're just allowing yourself to be used. They're not losing a blink of sleep, and you're here losing sleep. How will I say no? How will I say no? So I'm telling you, what can you sustain? Our verse of encouragement today is Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. All right then, ladies. Bye.